I am D Venom, which this particular name will be getting changed very soon. Welcome to Recovery with the Invisible. Any amount of your guys' positive energy shown on all platforms, especially this one, are always welcomed. Anyway, let me get into what I want to express because I have other things that I want to take care of. It is a beautiful day here where I reside, and those of you who have been following me for a while now know exactly where I live. Anyway, things have been on a positive note in regard to myself and my life. There has been one last, relapse, and those of you whom have been following me know my journey in regard to addiction. That occurred, I would say, more than about a week ago, and I'm not trying to follow exactly the words of Carl Jung, so to speak, but he is right, paraphrasing his words in regard to every relapse, at least for me, being answers for the soul or the soul screaming for answers. However he put it, it dealt with the soul. And I'm a firm believer in every time I have a relapse, it's giving my soul some form of answers and guiding me to where I need to go. Even though an addict, and I'm going to stop calling myself that as well. Though I was born into addiction, so to speak, it doesn't mean that I have to constantly call myself that, like these 12-step meetings want us to do. A lot of us want to forget that we come from that or entered into that. So why continuously traumatize ourselves by labeling ourselves as that addict before we were corrupted with alcohol, sex, drugs, and whatever else? We all were pure. We all had innocent minds. It took an adult, so to speak, to corrupt us and lead us astray. And that's where a lot of addictions and whatever else come into play. And I don't want to continuously label myself as that. I was someone's child. I cook, I sing. I mean, I be on pitch, but I still sing. I podcast. I'm a friend. I'm a BHT, a behavioral health technician. There's a lot to D Venom than just addiction. I'm bipolar, I'm ADHD, I will beat your ass. I'm just playing because I'm not too old, but I'm at a particular age where I don't have time to be, cat fighting with anybody. I don't have time for that. My main purpose for coming on here, and I don't apologize for turning off the chat features because there's plenty of you guys that I chat with on here that are friendly, that aren't about societal bullying and all of that type of bullshit. You guys are actually nice individuals. But with me tearing down the temple in regard to my own self, I'm tearing down the temples in regard to my platforms. I've already deleted Instagram out of my life. You won't control me, and not you guys, but the individuals behind the scenes that control the algorithms, control shit, including you guys and me to a degree. I don't want that in my life anymore. And as I'm trying to address my content or whatever, Instagram wants to play games. And I just said, I don't know if it was TikTok first or Instagram, but I know TikTok was playing hella games. In the beginning, I was able to post not lengthy videos because nowadays people's attention spans are like this. So if you're not capturing their attention with tight ass yoga pants showing your coochie print and your booty cheeks, or you're lifting weights but your legs spread wide open, or even these MMA interviews, you got straight men sitting across from each other with their legs propped wide open and their bows to just, what straight men do that? And so I'm trying to, as I am learning myself, the world, and the demonic spirits that roam this motherfucker, it's just very interesting. So this is why I am tearing down the temples in regard to my own self and my platforms. And you guys that have been following me for a while here on YouTube already know that I'm not afraid to tear down the temples and start all over again. I don't give a fuck if I mess up or not. I've torn down the temples here on YouTube several times. And I now know what to do. I'm not going to be chasing, meaning I'm not going to be on social media trying to post every chance that I motherfucking get. I'm going to control my life and take back that authority and post when I motherfucking want to post. And let that be the reason. I'm also going to turn off comments. It's not that I don't want to hear what people have to say, because that is selfish for individuals to only hear from me and me not hear from you guys. Some of you guys may have some very authentic opinions that could help me and somebody else. But what I'm going to do, thank you guys, thank you whoever gave me one like. What I'm going to do on the platform is probably allow you guys to leave comments on certain things that I post or when I go live on the weekends. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, y'all can voice y'all opinion or whatever else the case may be. But I'm not on here to hear people talk about I look like Samuel L. Jackson. That's not, I live for purpose. I don't live for your jokes. I don't live for your motherfucking, ragged, lame ass comments. You know what I'm saying? People behind the scenes that probably look like the inside of a whale's ass that want to talk about me and learning about gang stalking and a lot of other different demonic forces that are in this world. A lot of you guys are getting paid to go on people's platforms and troll and start shit. And before I allow that to happen, I will, just like I'm taking back authority in regard to socialized conditioning. Thanks for the thumbs up. Just like I'm taking back authority in my life in regard to my addiction, in regard to socialized conditioning, in regard to being told how to live my motherfucking life by the government. This right here, I'm about to quit because I was doing research in regard to MK Ultra, and it's sad how the government, they even turned on their own in regard to CIA agents. If you guys research here on YouTube alone, a lot of people that work for the CIA were victims of mind control experiments, and they allegedly killed themselves. Anyway, researching this type of shit, I learned that the first individuals to be experimented in regard to MK Ultra were individuals that smoked marijuana, because the experiments pretty much made them laugh. They weren't. They just weren't valuable in regard to what the government or the CIA or whatever are trying to do or were trying to do in regards to this MK Ultra shit, mind control shit. After they couldn't really do what they wanted to do with individuals that were fucking around with marijuana, they started fucking around with people that were fucking with cocaine. I think it was heroin or whatever. And then they started fucking with individuals that were messing around with even more hardcore drugs like PCP. No, not PCP. Damn, it's one of them motherfucker acid or something like that. But anyway, when I learned that they target people, my people got it the worst. Because of our skin color, we were overdosed the most, we were tortured the most, we went through it. Then they started targeting people in prison systems, the mentally ill individuals in psychiatric hospitals or whatever. The main reason why they were doing this is because you're already quote unquote crazy. You're already quote unquote an addict. Basically, the more crazier you appear to the world, the more discredited you would be had you came out and spoke the truth. My last relapse, basically, and I don't want to say that we humans are a game between Source and Satan. It's not a game with Source. Source is God. Whatever you guys refer to him as, it's not a game with him. It's the game with man. The game is with man. And we are the human puppets, or y'all. I'm the human puppet sometimes because I still fall prey to a lot of the shit that goes on in the world. But it's like a game of chess, and we humans are the pieces. You know what I'm saying? And we either There's the white pieces, which are the pieces of God, and then there are the black pieces, which are the pieces of Satan. We can either be on Team God and win that chess game, or we could continue to be a part of dark. Look, when I started researching stuff about gang stalking, that shit literally scared the fuck out of me. But it was truth being told in that if you elude the evils in your life, then you won't have those you won't have those complications. You won't have evil following you. You won't have evil, doing what evil does. You won't have that dark cloud around you. But if you continue to incorporate evil into your life, you're going to get what comes with it. And I knew, for instance, I was going to relapse maybe a couple of days ago. I had called the person up to meet them and everything. I was working in a different part of, where I live at, and I was going to meet them in that particular city. And, shit had failed. They had work late, whatever else. And so I didn't want to remain in that particular city for who knows how long. So I ended up driving back to, where I'm at now. Anyway, shit didn't work out to where we could meet up, so I still played Russian roulette, even though I should have blocked them or whatever. That was the universe putting a huge buffer in between me and the decisions that I was planting seeds with. The next day, I continued to play Russian roulette with the situation. I reached back out to the person to continuously try to hook up, scoring methamphetamine. Anyway, everything, was working out in regard to the plan. And weird shit just started happening. Now, a lot of this shit happens when I'm under the influence of methamphetamine. I haven't been under the influence of methamphetamine for more than, like I said. And that same shit that would occur while under the influence was occurring while not being under the influence. Anyway, the person wanted me to meet them. I thought it was in Scottsdale. Scottsdale could be anywhere, but there's a Scottsdale where I live at. I thought they wanted me to meet them there, but they sent me a link in regard to the address they wanted me to meet them at. And when I put it in Google Maps, it brought up the organization, but there was a semi truck parked in front of the organization, so you couldn't see exactly what it was. I just thought it was like I thought it was like a Walmart parking lot, like in the back parking lot, where the semi trucks go or whatever. So they asked me if it was cool, and if I met them there, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, whatever. Not knowing that this is a quick trip that is known for scallywags, prostitutes, just the most, drug activity the most. And I know because I've done drugs in that area, picked up scallywags and some of everything else. Anyway, I agreed to meet them there, and I still was getting this feeling like something is not right. Don't do this. That was the invisible, once again, red flagging me, putting buffers in between my decision to enter into darkness. Anyway, I once again, I'm sorry, you guys. I once again used Maps. I'm sorry, Google Maps to put in that address. When I did it this time, that semi truck wasn't in front of the Quick Trip, and I finally seen that it was a Quick Trip here in my area off of Peoria. And I'm like, wait a minute, why would they want me to meet them there when it is very active? And I agreed to meet them there, but not knowing that this was that particular Quick Trip. Anyway, I drove there, and they were coming from a whole different side of town, so a whole different city. So it was going to take them a minute to, get to that particular Quick Trip. So I didn't want to just linger around there because, like I said, it's hot. So I had to use the bathroom. Now, mind you, I have a roommate now. My roommate was supposed to been, well, they did go get a U-Haul truck in order to move in some furniture from the storage into my apartment. So they left way before I even decided to leave. So that means, I'm not going to say that means it should have been back to my apartment or whatever by then, but it was just coincidence that when I pulled into the motherfucking Quick Trip parking lot to wait on someone to bring me drugs, my roommate and their boyfriend or whatever are right there. That was red flag number one. I know that my roommate seen me, and I know that their man seen me as well. He gets out the car, she's still in the car. He playing it off like he don't see me. And I mean, come on now, I'm parked right here. You get out the car, you go to the door, but you decide to go into the other door where Anyway, I get out the car because I'm, playing shit off. I go speak to my roommate who's, on the driver's side. We're talking or whatever. I then speak to her man. I go inside. I use the bathroom, but before I do that, hold on one second, you guys. This is my work hitting me up. One second. 15:33. That's been the time that my video reconnected. I apologize. That's my job, you guys. I will explain a little bit more about my position at work and whatever else the case may be. But anyway, so as I was saying, this is another thing I'm going to start doing is writing things down so that I can stay on task in regard to what I'm talking to you guys about because I'm ADHD as all hell, and I will forget real quick, just like I did a few minutes ago by checking that notification. Thank you, whoever gave me that thumbs up. So I had 3 likes at this particular point. Thank you guys very much. Anyway, where was I at? Maybe I should have maybe I should have the live chat feature turned on so you guys can keep me on track at this particular point. But I was going somewhere with that, you guys. Damn. Like I said, I'm going to start writing shit down so that I can stay on motherfucking track. But look, hold on. Lately, I have been receiving messages from spirit birds, spirit cats. I've seen a few lizards, and I've seen mainly it's birds and cats that the invisible have been incorporating into my life in the form of guidance and in the form of messages. And I absolutely love it. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out where the fuck was I going in regard to what I was telling you all. But it's just so much that MK Ultra. Anyway, it disgusts me to know that the government preyed upon my people, that they preyed upon individuals that have unbalanced psyches. Like, I don't want to say just people in psychiatric hospitals and stuff like that, people that the world feels are crazy. Let me tell y'all something. I'm a behavioral health technician. At first, I was having reservations in regard to my position being a behavioral health technician. I will admit that I do not like the facility aspect of my job because I see too much with spiritual eyes. There's more faith in God in the patients that are in these particular facilities than motherfucking workers. And I would tell you the truth. I'll get back to that later. But the facility aspect of it all, I've noticed if you don't confine and if you don't conform into lying to the patients in regards to their medications, denying them bathroom breaks, denying them water, denying them simple services, treating them inhumane. If you go along with all of that, look, hold on. Damn, how can I turn this around? Hold on. Can y'all see? These birds are this damn close to me, you guys. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to come here and preach to anybody in regard to incorporating the invisible into their lives. What y'all do is what y'all do. But before man was created, the invisible had all of this. What I'm trying to do is influence people to stop turning to man for your fucking answers. Man does not know every motherfucking thing, obviously, because God created man. I'm just so over, at least with me, relying on man to guide me any motherfucking where. The teachings of man only have destructed my life for the worse. Not all teachings from man, but a great majority. If I had to rely on man, I would be dead from methamphetamine. But by me surrendering my life to the invisible and allowing the invisible to guide me to where I need to go in regard to my path. If man is a part of that, then they will open the doors for me to seek that help from man. But aside from that, like with 12 step, I don't have a problem with 12 step. But I've noticed that when you go against the grain, I don't give a fuck if it's church, school. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing. I don't give a fuck if it's church, school, whatever. When you go against the grain, it's an issue because the masses want you to be dumb. They don't want you to know shit. They want you to follow what everyone else is doing. They want you to be in competition in regard to clout, status, this American dream, working over 40 motherfucking hours. Socialized conditioning. When I started watching videos in regard to, so once again, I'm sorry to keep jumping off track. I have so many things on my mind. Once again, if I were to allow man to teach me and misguide me, I would be dead. The invisible opened my eyes up to my true identity. Man has tried to keep that from me. This is what I mean by watching videos like socialized conditioning or being conditioned. We were conditioned before we came out the motherfucking womb. I promise you that. It was even worse when we came out. Who said that women had to wear lashes from here to motherfucking Costa Rica? Who said that women had to wear all this makeup to feel beautiful? Who said that women need to wear all this lingerie or whatever to entice a man? If you know your sexual energies or whatever, and if you know that you are a woman and don't need to do all, like today, these women with these yoga pants on and all this shit, that is for workout. That is for yoga or whatever. Why the fuck are you wearing this in public where people can see your coochie and your booty and all this type of stuff? People are doing shit like this on purpose in the form of a fucking distraction, and the world is falling for it. I'm reading a book, and it's called The Return of the Gods. I thought when I got that book from the library, it was going to be talking about, well, it is talking about gods and goddesses, but in a good way. This book is disclosing gods and goddesses in a bad way. I'm literally shocked in regard to how I misled you guys. And I made a video, I think for Facebook, maybe YouTube. I went on my podcasting platform. I bought a book from the astrology store out of all stores. And the author of the book is Yamunya. The book is called The 7 Type of Spirit Guide, How to Connect with Your Cosmic Helpers. I thought this book would be just an authentic book in regard to how to connect you with the invisible. No, this book is all about paganism, all about worshiping gods and goddesses that have nothing to do with the one and only God. And here I am on social media with this book. Yeah, y'all need to get this book, blah, blah, blah. And then in the book, there's a quiz, so to speak, in regard to what guys you are, working with the most. The guys that I was working with the most are deities. Now, I'm not quite sure if God is the number one. I don't think God is a deity at all, because from my understanding, deities are associated with evil or whatever. But anyway, deities are underneath God, so to speak. They demand authority. Everything that God demands from us is what deities demand as well. I am linked up to deities. Deities are pretty much the number one in regards to the gods and goddesses, well, mainly the gods that I'm working with. I was excited about that. Oh, I'm happy. I'm working with deities, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking to see who around. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, I'm excited about this. So I started doing some research because I knew this is why it's important for everyone to get their DNA done, because once you start digging into, especially your indigenous side, if you guys have an indigenous side, it will reveal a lot in regard to what they were practicing. And I thought when I knew that I would receive answers when I did a search in regard to my Andean and Mesoamerican and Andean side of me. When I did research in regard to the Mesoamerican or either Andean side, come to find out, my ancestors, who I've been chosen to take out of this motherfucking bondage and worship of paganism, they were worshiping nature spirits, which I don't think is the bad thing. But now that man has his hands on some of everything, anything can turn evil. But my lineage were worshiping nature spirits. They were worshiping other things, but the biggest thing that I put on social media that I did not think was harmful to my lineage or you guys was the fact that Inca or Inti, the sun god of Peru or something of that nature, is a part of my spiritual lineage. I did not realize that he is pagan. That is evil. This is what my family lineage has been pretty much practicing. It all came to me. I don't want to say after that last relapse, but it all came to me. Oh my God, my family has been caught up in acts of paganism for decades. And this is why I have been chosen. This is why you have been chosen. This is why a lot of chosen ones in this world have been chosen to break family curses. I now get it. I now get why I went through all this hardship, why certain relationships failed and some succeeded, why I was the lone dog in regard to confronting systems and other people, that were supposed to have my back and confronting in regard to confronting these systems, bailed out. I get all of this shit now. And I was in tears earlier today because I was watching a video in regard to Molech and children's sacrifices. I am so sickened at the fact that children sacrifices pretty much began because people were fleshly, fucking and sucking. I'm not sure about protection back in them ancient days, but they was fucking and sucking. Shit, read about Ishtar. Fucking and sucking. Coming all over the place and doing the most. And what this did was produce children that were unwanted, children out of wedlock or whatever. So in order to hide these children that was produced out of fleshly feelings, to hide them from the public and to hide them from God, who sees some of every motherfucking thing, they decided to give their children up for child sacrifice to the god of Molech. And this is why music is so important back in them days. I think it's the something drum, something drum. That drum and horns were used during child sacrifices to drown out. When I tell y'all I was in tears after listening to this shit, those drums and horns were used in order to drown out the sounds of children being tossed into the fire and being sacrificed to Baal. I mean, not Baal, but Molech. When I learned the truth about my own birthday, my birthday's on Halloween. Unbeknownst to me, I stopped celebrating my birthday for a reason. People don't realize that every time y'all dress up in them costumes and y'all running around like ghosts and goblins and all of this shit and putting fake, but y'all are paying homage to Satan every motherfucking year that y'all do this. And the candy is a way to lure in the children for child sacrifice. Music is also incorporated in Halloween as well, because as the children are being sacrificed, of course they're crying and they're screaming or whatever, so you need to drown that out with something. So music was incorporated. Halloween is disgusting. So is Christmas. But so many people that are blind, conditioned, and don't see shit for what it is, still go with the flow. They dress their children up. Even they big grown asses, they get dressed up, they go out, they go trick-or-treating, and some of every motherfucking thing. Halloween is when the most children sacrifices occur. I seen this video courtesy of YouTube, which I'm on right now, which you guys are on, courtesy of YouTube. What I'm also going to do, so that I don't sound rhetorical, is gather information in regard to what I'm telling you all so that y'all can go and look this stuff up for your own motherfucking selves. So, I don't come off lying or whatever else the case may be. I want my platform to be as authentic as it possibly can be, considering we are in a world with a bunch of motherfucking fakes. And I was watching a video courtesy of YouTube in regard to chosen ones. Thus far, the videos that I've been guided to have been innocent. I came across one, I saved it. I'm going to share it with you guys because y'all don't need to listen to it and you don't need to follow it. The video was talking about how to, it was a link shared. Basically, I'm sorry, you guys, I get passionate about shit. It's a CIA experiment, a brainwave experiment in order for you to attract more abundance in your life. The CIA was behind or is behind MK Ultra, B2K, and all of these other mind controlling experiments. They have patents out there in regard to mind controlling gadgets or whatever that they haven't released to the world yet. Why would you lead people astray? See, this is another reason why I'm enjoying living in discernment, following God, because you will hear and see some shit that other people will not hear and see, and it will literally just fuck you up. Why would you tell people to click that link that will take you to some CIA experiment that will produce brain waves that will increase your abundance? When I did this, I have DuckDuckGoose for my search engine because all the search engines are nosy as fuck, but Google is beyond nosy. Anyway, DuckDuckGoose will let you know who's trying to track you and whatever else. When I clicked that motherfucking link, the screen came up. DuckDuckGoose blocked about 14 tracking attempts, some other attempts. What does this tell you? The CIA wants to know exactly who is going for this, how can I say it? Guinea pig experiment. I'm not sure if I share with you guys. A lot of people know who Pink Pantheress is. She's an artist, overseas artist who crossed over. When Pink Pantheress first came out, when I first started watching her and listening to her, she was covered. A lot of people overseas, they believe in putting on clothes, aside from we Americans. Now that she's crossed over, she got cleavage all the way up to her chin. She's showing belly. She lost weight because Pink Panther was a little thick, not too thick, but thick enough not to be wearing them cut-off tops. Now she's wearing them cut-off tops and she's doing the most, like American whores in the music industry. Anyway, she will be here in my area April 20th. I bought the ticket, $80-something, good ass seat. What I didn't realize is that her concert starts April 20th at 8 o'clock and it don't end until the next day at 7 o'clock in the motherfucking morning, a lockdown. I meant to call just to gain clarity in regard to, is this true? Is this what the fuck is Pink Panther is going to be doing from 8 o'clock in the morning all the way up until 7 o'clock the next following day? And for people now, there are people that can naturally stay up like that without drugs, but anyone that knows anything about a motherfucking lockdown knows that it goes down. People fucking and sucking, they doing drugs and everything else. I thought about it on several occasions, and even with this MK Ultra bullshit, I don't know what's in the speakers that's willing to control my motherfucking mind. And if I'm going, I'm already worshiping an idol, something that I should not be doing in the first motherfucking place. That's strike number one. Number two, I don't know what they have in these speakers that could be doing the most to me and my brain and whatever else. And if it's a lockdown from 8 o'clock in the morning until 7, there's going to be drugs. I don't give a fuck. I'm empathic and whatever else. I know there's going to be drugs. Do I really want to put myself in this compromising position knowing ahead of time what it's going to be like? Or do I sell the ticket, keep my peace of mind, and just not even attend? And speaking to a good friend of mine, earlier who's going through some things with her with a loved one. They gave me further clarity in regard to what I should do, even though I didn't need their clarity. But it's always nice to gain clarity from look a flock of birds over there. It's always nice to gain clarity from people that you love and they love you in return, so that you can make better decisions. And sorry, Pink Panthers, I won't be seeing your ass. And even if I don't sell the ticket, that's just $80 down the drain. I would rather have my identity, my mind, my me. I would rather have me after that concert versus give up a piece of me going to that concert and not knowing who the fuck I am afterwards. So I'm pretty much good on that. I'm good on a lot of things in my life moving forward. Even if I have to put your ass on a motherfucking lie detector test to see if you are authentic or not, that's what the fuck I'm going to do. I don't want any more fakeness in my life moving forward. I just don't. Maybe some of y'all do, but I don't. And so this is where I'm at, pretty much. I'm tearing down old temples for a new. And I think about Source and his situation and how he tore down temples that went against his father, and you know, just, I mean, sometimes he rebuilt them temples and sometimes he let that shit, you know, be. This time I'm tearing down temples and I'm letting it be. Like with TikTok, I built that temple and I seen the games that they play behind the motherfucking scenes, and I said, fuck y'all. I don't want it in my life. And I deleted their ass. Instagram. Too many motherfucking games, even though Facebook and Instagram are all, you know, tied up or whatever. I put a lot of work into my Instagram platform. Even with Pinterest. Pinterest was the platform that I had the most followers on. But they want to deactivate my account because of the shit that they allow to come through. Bulges and dick, penis prints and shit. And because I built a board for that, all of a sudden it's too risque. Now y'all want to get rid of my platform. Y'all allow it to come through the platform. I don't give a fuck. Y'all know what goes on. Y'all control everything behind the scenes. How the fuck you not gonna know that this type of material is on your platform? And now that people are building boards behind it, now we're the problem. So yeah. So Pinterest is gone. Instagram is gone. TikTok is gone. If Facebook get on my motherfucking nerves, they will be gone. I don't have time, and I'm not going to make the time. This is why I haven't been on here. As much as I want to connect with you guys or whatever, to be quite honest with y'all, look at Satan in the form of a motherfucking fly. To be honest with y'all, half of y'all aren't even connecting with my damn content like that. More or less connecting with me. But the beauty of it is you guys haven't went anywhere, regardless if you're on YouTube anymore, if you're, you know, following other people and y'all forgot about me, you're still following my ass because you haven't disconnected and, you know, gone anywhere else. So you're still a part of this tribe to a degree. And I appreciate that very much. But there's definitely going to be a lot of changes moving forward. And I know a lot of people are probably going to go astray because people want to control. They don't want to build their own shit, but they want to control your shit. And I noticed that with my podcasting platform. People want to come on there and troll and do all this bullshit. Why don't you pay monthly like I am, get your own motherfucking platform, and you can do all that shit on your own shit, bitch. But they don't want to do that. So, you know, this is why I'm taking control of, for instance, I was born into the system in regard to food stamps and stuff like that. I'm still a part of the system, considering I still rely on their medical aspect of it all. Look, this pigeon is right here. Oh my God. I don't know how I could turn this around. Can y'all see? Right here. If it wouldn't fly away, I would be able to pet it. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, you guys, I got distracted. I'm in awe with these universal messages in the form of birds and animal guys, just put it that way. Oh my God, it's right here. Who are you? Don't come here, come here, come here, come here. Who are you? Hi. Hey. You do know that I bought a couple of you guys, not pigeons, but other birds. What pigeon gets this close to a human being like that unless you own one? These are wild pigeons. I don't have any food. Maybe the pigeon thought that I had food, have food, but I don't. I was doing a little bit of research, or I came across, or I was guided to some research in regard to animals, knowing chosen ones. And the more that you elevate in regard to energies, the more that they recognize you. Y'all seen, well, y'all didn't see the pigeon fly on the table, but I showed you guys that pigeon right here, and it was walking towards me until I made a sudden move, and it kind of scared it. This is confirmation from the universe that I'm leveling up in regard to spirituality. I'm leveling up in regard to maturity. I'm just leveling up. And thank you, universe. I appreciate this confirmation. Look, right there. Hold on. And yes, there's garbage right there, but that's beyond the point. I want y'all to see the spiritual message in it all. These birds are coming through, sending me messages, the different chirps, the different body language, all of this type of stuff. Yes, it's a part of their behavior. Yes, it's spring sermon time. It's about time for them to start fucking and sucking. But this is also a form of spiritual guidance and messages. I absolutely, I absolutely love this. Damn, there's so much that I want to share with you guys, but I have stuff wrote down. I wrote shit down on napkins. I don't care what I wrote it down on in regard to stuff that I want to share with you guys, especially being a BHT, behavior health technician in my field. Anyway, I'm not going to stay with you guys too much longer. I want to podcast. I'm going to podcast for a little bit and then get home because I have to be at work at 7 and I have to drive to the neighboring town, city, or whatever. So it's going to be take me, depending on traffic, which it's going to be pretty. Well, no, I'm going to work at night, so it won't be that bad. Anyway, thank you guys so much for the thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. I will apologize for not connecting with you guys like I normally would. I'm not in a race or competition with anyone. I have 100 and something followers on here. I have about 100 and something on my podcasting platform when people have about 43,000 or whatever. They're willing to put in all of that work and stuff and probably lose sleep and some of everything else to get that accomplished. I'm not willing to do that. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to eat. I'm going to do all that. And I'm going to not most likely, most of all, I'm going to enjoy my motherfucking life without certain attachments. Navigating the world, I promise you, cell phones are controlling so many motherfucking people. Right now, a bitch can't even suck her man dick without having a cell phone in her hand, waiting for notifications. Bitch, you can't even spread one leg apart because you too busy worried about who's finna who gonna hit you up in regard to your cleavage picture or your booty picture. I was in my car going somewhere, and this dude was on his bicycle, leaning on his handlebars, texting and shit. There could have been a big ass motherfucking pothole in front of this bitch, but he was so busy worried about being on that damn phone. And children can't even get pushed in a stroller from their parents because parents are too busy strolling on TikTok and Instagram and shit and not even worried about their child. Children are soiled in their pampers because parents are too busy worried about posting on. I don't want to be that motherfucking conditioned and controlled. I bought a pair of white pants from the thrift store. And speaking of thrift stores, I want to go to a thrift store to see what I can find. Anyway, this pair of white pants did not have side pockets. It had back pockets, and I'm not one to put my cell phone or anything in the back pocket. I don't give a fuck. But anyway, that was perfect training for myself because even though I would like to have my cell phone on my hip or whatever the case may be, I couldn't do that with those particular pants. And one day I wore those pants on purpose because I didn't want to walk around with my motherfucking cell phone like a half of the world is doing. I didn't want to be controlled in that aspect. So when I would go to places like to get gas or whatever else, I was forced, unless I would have my phone in my back pocket or whatever, I was forced to leave that phone in the motherfucking car. And I was glad to do that, because I don't want people can't. Now that I am clearing my head each and every day from addiction and whatever else, and just a lot of worldly influence, the way people would observe me under the influence and or the non, I now get the chance to do that as a behavioral health technician, and the training due to me being a behavioral health technician gives me even better observation in regard to human beings and my own damn self. I just sit back and I just watch people and I read energy, and people think that I'm weird. Y'all are some of the weirdest motherfuckers in this motherfucking world, I promise you. And I just don't want any parts of it. I don't. And people think that living a life of seclusion, there's healthy seclusion, and then there's unhealthy seclusion. I live a life of healthy seclusion because I have healthy invisibles a part of that, including God. I'm not cutting myself. I'm not doing any of that. I am away from you motherfuckers. I'm away from the world. I'm not, I'm safe. I'm safe. Plus, I'm able to hear what source and the invisible from above have to say in regard to guidance and lessons and whatever. The world is noisy. Distractions all over the place. This is why my phone is on mute now. I don't want to hear no motherfucking ding ding in regard to a notification. In most cases, I don't give a fuck. But it's too much control. And to a degree, I love it when people have their phones. I mean, look, somebody backing out the parking lot. Y'all heard that y'all, look, hold on. Never mind. But y'all heard the horn honk. This person is reverse. Oh, butterfly. My roommate wants to get butterflies. That's also that's also a sign from the universe. Anyway, this person was probably on their cell phone, or more than likely being in my motherfucking business, to the point where they couldn't even reverse out the motherfucking parking lot of the park and notice a car was right behind their ass and it was about to hit them. The world is so busy worried about what the fuck the next person is doing. That's why we're probably in the mess that we are right now, to the point where they don't know a fucking thing about themselves, but they can tell you about the neighbor, they can tell you about this bitch, they can tell you about that hoe, but what can you tell not only the next person, but your own damn self about you? Probably nothing. But anyway, yeah, I'm just over it. I'm over it. And I don't want to thank my relapses or my addiction, but Satan, I have to thank you. You corrupted me from the beginning. I always thought it was my mother and the little bit of addiction that she went through, and that fucked up my bones. Before I was born, I had bone skeletal issues, my teeth, my detached retina. Satan put all of this on me because I'm not dipped in water, bitch. I am dipped in oil, anointed, marked. Y'all, do you see this M, bitch? 2. Hold on, let me put this weed down. Let me show y'all something. M, marked. I can't do it this way, but if I put my palms this way, and if y'all can see it, crescent moon. No, it ain't no motherfucking satanic ritual type bullshit. These are the markings from Source himself. Could you just imagine getting some carved into your skin while you are consciously, he did this as infants. Anyway, long story short, I'm marked for a better purpose, for a cause. There are so many people in this world that are living life for validation and living life for the other, for another bitch. for status, for clout. And then there are people in this world that are living life for purpose. People are chasing money and living, worshiping the goddess of Baal. I mean, the god of Baal, and just doing the motherfucking most, worshiping Ishtar. Being a slut and a whore. Now, I was big in regard to worshiping Ishtar, especially under the influence of motherfucking methamphetamine. Yes, honey, I was sucking them dicks and doing the most under that bitch. But now that I'm reading that particular book that I told you guys about, The Return of the Gods, it's revealing so much in regard to modern day society being paganized. I'm going to end this on this particular note and then podcast for a little bit. I was working on behalf of the veterans, and it's so sad the stories that a handful of them shared with me. And I will get into this at a different point in time. Maybe a video. Maybe I will create a video in regard to this. But anyway, I was shocked that I'm not going to say but from what was told to me, I, amongst a handful of other staff that would work at this particular place, were nice to the vets. And I'm just like, damn, why wouldn't people be nice to y'all? Y'all fought for this raggedy ass, lying ass country, and whatever else the case may be. So y'all should be getting the utmost respect. But they were treated like shit, and they thought that I was going to conform and confine to treating these veterans like shit. No, I did not do that. I gave them attention. I was there for their needs as much as I could be there for them. When I tell you that these veterans were ignored, bitches was on their cell phones ordering frames for glasses. They texting men living in fantasy land. Word about cars being shipped to them and shit like this when veterans are standing at the window needing assistance. Anyway, my job ended with them. Anyway, I'll get into that some other time. But it's sad how, long story short, if the government, our lovely government, if they really wanted to help these veterans, and not only did I say this, but a handful of other people said this as well, the place that I was working at would not be across the street from a motherfucking porn shop. Now, I'm not sure if the porn shop was there first or this particular place that I was working at. Based upon what that porn shop looks like, that porn shop was there first. Then came the place to serve the veterans. Why the fuck would y'all have the veterans across the street from a motherfucking porn shop with nothing but temptation, nothing but drugs out there, nothing but a great majority of the prostitutes are men dressed as women. So not only are they engaging in homosexuality, which I'm gay myself, I'm just not active, which goes against, source, they're centered in a busy section of where I reside at. I'm talking industrial section, trains coming through there, traffic coming through there. These people just left out of war or whatever the case may be, where their minds are, just already fucked up, hearing all that loud noise. Why would you put them somewhere that could easily trigger them? They could hear a car wreck and think it's a bomb going off or something. I promise y'all, this was all constructed for their destruction. To place them across from a porn shop in a busy intersection of town, etc., etc. That was done on purpose. I don't give a fuck. This is the shit that I see with spiritual eyes. And once again, I don't want to thank my addiction or relapse, but I have to, because Satan, you thought that you were going to just end me. You wanted to end me at birth. That's why you fucked up my bones. That's why you fucked up my eye. That's why you gave me ADHD, bipolar. You did all of this, not my mom. You did, because you know that God created something that was going to go against your motherfucking ass. Something of power, something of light, and something that is going to blossom. You are trying everything possible for that to happen. And I nearly allowed you to do that because I don't want to say I was stupid, because I'm not. I was just very less than smart and very ignorant in regard to a lot of things. And now that I'm educating myself, which everyone should do, because people will lead, man, will lead your ass astray real quick. Yeah. Anyway, you guys, thank y'all so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I know that I kind of contradict myself because I still smoke weed or whatever, but like I said, my relationship with this is ending because there's something in the Bible that pretty much talks about alcohol and the influence of addiction and stuff like that. And this will give me answers into what I was born into in regard to my own family and my own family's lineage. In regard, there was incest and all that type of shit. All that's in the Bible, and all that is paganistic, and all of that is what my family is suffering from. I have to do this. This is what I was in tears about earlier, thinking about my lineage, my ancestors being in bondage by this paganistic bullshit, and me being chosen by God to take them from it. It all explains why I took my food during holidays and I wouldn't eat with my family. I would eat in my room in silence. God was working on me then for what is occurring now. Y'all see how the pieces of the puzzle come together? At least for me it does. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to end this, but before I do, everything is getting changed. Like I said, I'm changing. I'm deleting shit that no longer serves my higher good. I'm keeping some of that shit because some of that shit is meant to be exposed, but a lot of that perversion stuff is getting deleted. I know how to play the game with algorithms now. So instead of looking up perverted stuff or whatever, I'm going to be searching for more godly stuff, more free thinking stuff, more ways to live authentically, more ways to, be a nomad. Those are the things I'm going to put into the algorithm so that I don't have to see all that other bullshit. All right, you guys. Thank y'all for allowing me to take up a little bit of your time. And until my next live stream, y'all be good. But don't be alarmed when you start seeing a lot of videos being deleted and taken away. I don't give a fuck how many views they have. It's getting taken away for Anew. And and I never mind. I'm out. Y'all be good. And until my next live stream, namaste. Hold on. Hopefully I can go. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying to see how I can end this. Okay, here we go. All right, I found out. I'm sorry, you guys. I haven't live streamed on YouTube in a while, so I had to once again, the masses playing games behind the scenes. Now you got to search in order to find out how to end the motherfucking live stream. All right, y'all. Be good. Namaste.